Hey guys, and welcome back to These Days. I am Jackie, and today I am talking to you guys about different types of homeschooling styles. So if you are just checking out homeschooling, or maybe you have just started homeschooling, you're still trying to figure out your style, maybe this video will add some clarity to that. My channel is all about homeschooling, motherhood, gardening, plants, essential oils, really a lot of different things. I hope you decide to subscribe and ring the bell so you get updates for when I post new videos. So go ahead and grab a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you want to drink, and let's get started. The first homeschooling style that I'm going to talk about today is called unschooling. Now, unschooling is actually a really cool way to homeschool or unschool. It is child-led, so the parent really lets the child choose which way they want to go in learning, and they really follow them. Now, the cool thing about unschooling is it really trusts the process of learning, and it really trusts that kids are naturally inquisitive and they ask questions and they want to learn. One great thing about unschooling is the child doesn't have to learn against their will or do schoolwork against their will, because if you're trying to teach your child something, if they're not wanting to learn it, are they really going to learn it if they're listening to you? I don't know. So this is a great way to have your child lead the way in schooling and find out what they love and trust that they are going to learn what they need to learn when they need to, and really give them freedom as children to decide what they want to learn. Foster them in that. Encourage them in those things and help them dive into those things that they really want to focus on. So the second type of homeschooling is unit study homeschooling. So this is actually a really popular one that I have seen, especially here on YouTube. A lot of people use unit studies to school, and I think it's awesome because a unit study is sort of has a flavor of unschooling, but it's its own thing. So unit study, you find a theme for your family, or maybe your kids help you choose the theme of that particular week, month, school year, whatever you want, however long you want it to be. You focus on that theme and you build all of your learning around that theme. For example, my son has been really into rocks lately. And so he loves to just find rocks outside and keep them. So he has a collection of rocks. So if I was going to do a unit study on that, I would just help him go find rocks. We'd watch YouTube videos. We'd get books to identify, which we actually are. We're identifying them with books. We would have more of a focus on just focusing on rocks. Maybe I'd throw in, a little writing assignment for him to do. Or maybe we would go on a field trip that focuses on geology. So one really cool thing about a unit study is if you have multiple age kids in multiple grades, you can just school the same thing for all of them. It's a unit study that everyone can be involved in and everyone can still learn just at their own level. You could have more assignments on something for an older child and less assignments for a younger child with a unit study. So another homeschooling style is the Charlotte Mason method. Now, Charlotte Mason was actually a woman who was an educator in the 1800s. Charlotte Mason said, "Education is an atmosphere, a discipline, a life." With the Charlotte Mason, there's a lot of emphasis on creating this home that the child can learn in and where learning is encouraged and it is fostered. And she also said that building good habits, or the discipline portion, is so important to a child's upbringing. So forming these habits young. So one example is just having your child fix their bed every morning. These small little habits that we help our children learn throughout their early years are so important, and throughout their whole childhood is so important. And the third thing is life, talking about education. There should be variety in education for children. Another big thing with the Charlotte Mason method is nature, being outside, learning about things outside and doing nature studies, spending many hours a day outside. We definitely lean more Charlotte Mason style, but I'm still a little bit more eclectic and kind of just add in a few different things. But the Charlotte Mason method is absolutely inspiring to me. So learning through play is very important in the Charlotte Mason method, and actually formal lessons don't even start till the age of 6. I firmly believe we need to be outside and we need to let our kids play freely, and I think that they're learning so much through that. So I just love that Charlotte Mason Those are some of her ideals, and she also talks about doing handicrafts and dictation and memorization, and it's just a really great method of homeschooling. I'm trying not to be like picky here, but it is definitely one of my favorite methods of homeschooling, and that is where I lean personally. One big thing about the Charlotte Mason method also is that there is a focus to have living books rather than just dry textbooks, to actually have living books that really just, you follow a story and it just makes learning exciting. Another homeschooling style is traditional homeschooling. Traditional homeschooling is, a lot of the time, you just set up basically a classroom or an environment where it's basically recreating a classroom environment like you would see at a school. So you are really attentive to scheduling and making sure that your child is doing tests and quizzes, and you try to keep them along the lines of the grade that they're supposed to be in if they were at school. So it's very much more of recreating a school environment in the home, which is great, and I think it really works for some people. I was homeschooled when I was younger, and we definitely were a traditional homeschooling style family. We had a classroom, we had a schedule, we had to get our work done, and we had to take tests and quizzes, and it worked for us. I didn't know anything different, so as I'm like learning more as a homeschool mom now, I know that there's so many more styles out there, and traditional homeschooling is one of them, and it may work for your family, it may not, but that is another style of homeschooling. And then also another homeschooling style is the classical method of homeschooling. The classical method of homeschooling focuses more on the trivium of learning. So the trivium is broken up into 3 parts: grammar, logic, and rhetoric, and all of those happen throughout the schooling of the child. With the classical method, like, one of the main focuses is to help children become virtuous men and women. And so it's a really great ideal, and I love that. The focus is on literature, classic literature. It's on learning Latin and lots of memorization. So classical style is another homeschooling style. Also, I guess this is kind of like a 6th homeschooling style, but being eclectic, having an eclectic homeschooling style is a thing. Actually, a lot of people have an eclectic homeschooling style. So they take pieces from each one of these things and then they put it all together. And I feel like right now that's where I am. We definitely lean more eclectic because I think I come from a traditional homeschooling background, but yet I want to move to like a Charlotte Mason style. I still find myself leaning towards the traditional style, but I definitely have started moving towards Charlotte Mason. We use my father's world homeschool curriculum, which actually combines some classical and some Charlotte Mason, and it kind of puts them together, which makes it eclectic again. But I definitely think that nature and play is so important at all times, but especially play in the younger years, and nature all the time. I don't personally use all of these homeschooling styles, so I don't have a lot of personal stories with them, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I would love to hear what your style is, and tell me a little bit about it. Drop a comment below and let me know. Now, it may take a while for you to find that homeschooling style. When I first started, we used a traditional style homeschool with my son, and when I used to homeschool my 2 younger cousins, we used a traditional style of homeschools. You may not know what your style is yet, and your style may change, and that's okay. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to comment below and let me know what kind of homeschooling style you have. And also don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you can get updates for whenever I post my new videos. Thank you so much for watching.